Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World Dominion review. Today we're going to take a look at the new Raw Strikers Megaraptor. This figure was one of my most anticipated from the second round of figures. Once the promotional images surfaced of it, I really thought the color scheme was quite striking, and it's just a beautifully sculpted figure. It looked really detailed in the promotional images, but having it in hand, the sculpted and detail in this figure is really outstanding. And spoiler alert, Megaraptor is not a raptor. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the review. Now, I ended up getting this figure from Big Bad Toy Store. Retails for just over $16. I'll leave a link to them down below in the description. And as of today, they started shipping from Amazon, so I'll also leave the Amazon link also down below in the description. Now, let's just go over the package really quick before we crack this figure open. Comes in the standard Raw Strikers packaging, which is very reminiscent of the original Raw Voids. You got Rexy right here, Dominion logo, nighttime sky, helicopter chasing Rexy, yada, yada, yada. Spin it around, you get a picture of the Megaraptor, how its Raw Striker action works. And then down here are the other figures available in this wave. I got the Iguanodon in. Let's see if there we go. My camera is just super fickle lately. I switched to a new camera and a little harder time operating it than my old one. We got the Raw Strikers Iguanodon, which will be reviewed next. We have the new Sinoceratops, which I won't be picking up. Ever since the Hammond collection has been rolling out in full force, I have a feeling that every dinosaur that made an appearance in the movies will eventually get a Hammond collection version of itself. So I'm really just not going to get any of the canon species anymore in the main line. And over here is the Liopleurodon. It was actually sold out when I pre-ordered this set, but I did secure one on Amazon, so I should have that figure in soon. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack this figure open and take a closer look. And as always with most Raw Striker figures, you just have to attach the tail. Just push it in until it clicks, and that is a one-time assembly. It is not coming out once you get it in. And let's start with a nice 360-degree view of the Megaraptor. What a cool and unique looking toy. Normally I would roast Mattel for the extreme lack of paint apps on this figure. Seriously, only the front third of this figure has any paint apps whatsoever, but just the pattern they chose, it's just really striking with that very, very dark blue. It's almost black, contrasting with the bright red. It's just really appealing to the eye. Yes, I do wish there was a little bit more paint apps on here, especially on the plumage on the tail, but for what it is, I think it's one of the prettiest of the Raw Striker figures to come out so far. And you have a little splash of white on the front of the head to break up all that dark coloration. Now, Megaraptor, when it was first discovered, they thought it was a type of dromaeosaur because of the very large sickle claw on its hand. Was originally thought to belong to the foot. So Megaraptor belongs to the species of dinosaur called Megaraptor. A genus of dinosaurs called Megaraptoria. The classification for them has been all over the place the last few years. They've been classified as Allosaurids, Spinosaurids, and right now they are classified with Tyrannosauroids. So yes, we need more material from this unique genus of dinosaurs to see where they fall on the dinosaur evolutionary tree. But as a whole, really happy with this figure. Mattel always surprises me with the obscure species choices they go with some of their figures, and the Megaraptor is definitely a very, very welcome addition. Now for some measurements. This figure, if you measure it to the actual tip of the tail, it's about 12 inches long, or 30.5 centimeters. If you count for the plumage at the end, just add another inch to that, and it's about 4.5 inches tall to the top of the head, or 11.5 centimeters. So Megaraptor in real life is estimated to be 26 feet long, or 8 meters. So I'll put this figure in the 1/26 scale range. Now let's zoom and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure, starting with this really nice head sculpt. The head almost reminds me of the male JP3 Velociraptors, just the general shape and look of it, but very, very nicely done head sculpt. Lots of nice scale detail all over the head and all over the body. You actually even got a plume of feathers starting at the top of the head that goes all the way down the neck and a little bit onto the back. The teeth are nicely painted in off-white color. You got some white highlights on the side of the face. The eye is painted orange with a black pupil. lower jaw is cast in off-white plastic. It's some nice large scales sprinkled in between all the smaller scales. You have some large scales along the lip region on the upper and lower jaws, and then looking inside the mouth. Inside of the mouth is cast in a glossy pink plastic. You get some nice texturing on the tongue and a little bit on the roof of the mouth. On the underside, some more folds and wrinkles along the throat. Some nice fine scale details all the way down the neck. Some more of that feather plumage that extends to the top of the back of the figure. Then it ends right about here, and then it picks up again at the end of the tail. And then going down to the forearms, we have the very, very long claw on the first finger of Megaraptor, which is what it's famous for. And speaking of the claw, I actually do have a life-size replica of that claw. It is quite big. Let's just get the camera to zoom out a little bit. So yes, this is a life-size cast of that very large claw. You can see, paleontologists when you first discover it, did kind of look like the toe claw to a dromaeosaur. But yeah, this is a big, big, nasty looking claw. That'd be much bigger in real life with that keratin sheath on. It'll probably be almost twice this length. And getting back to the arms, you do have some feathers along the arms right here. Not accurate feather placement, but it's a nice touch that Mattel is adding some feathers to their figures. You get more of that very, very dark blue paint that looks pretty much black on camera. You can see a little bit of the red poking through, and those paint apps end right here on the back. Like I said, the figure is very sparsely painted, but it's just a really nice contrasting color scheme, so I'm really not going to beat them up too much about it. But nice, if the hand claws and the toe claws were painted. I like this figure so much, I might pick up another one when they finally start hitting stores and just add some more color to paint the claws, paint a little bit of the plumage, and just give it a nice wash, bring out the details, because there's really not much work this figure needs. It already looks great. Going down to the feet, they are absolutely massive, looking very, very long. You get some nice scale details along the toes. Like I said, toe claws not painted in. Underside, you don't have many details. You have the speaker box for the electronics. And then going down to the back, let's pop this up. Here is the scan code for those of you who want to scan this into the fax app. Then going up to the thighs, you get some really, really nice scale details and folds and wrinkles. And then going down to the tail, you have this nice plumage of feathers. It would have been nice if these were painted the same dark blue as the front half of the body. I think it would look really, really great if they did that. But like I said, probably going to pick up another one and just do a little customizer of my own. So yeah, all around, I think this is a really, really great looking figure. Just absolutely love the color scheme on it. Now for articulation, pretty standard for any of the Raw Strikers. Arms are on a hinge, allows them to swing out. They can move forwards and backwards. Hind legs can move backwards and forwards. You hear that little click, little lock and joint to keep the figure in a neutral position. And the tail uselessly rotates. Really, really, really got to start adding hinge joint for side-to-side movement on their mainline figures. And the rest of it is tied to the action feature, which is very, very simple to activate. You just have to push down on the figure and it'll cause the head, the neck, and the mouth to close. And also activates a couple electronic roars. I do like the new action feature on these Raw Strikers. Much better than the stupid slider they did on the previous assortment of figures. I still can't stand that slider button. I'm glad there's no buttons on these figures. They look so much better with just a simple activation method. Moving on with comparisons. First up, here it is with one of the human figures. Here it is with Claire. And next up, here it is with Atrociraptor Red, and here it is with the Dilophosaurus. And next up, let's compare it to some of the other Raw Strikers. Here it is with the Rajasaurus, and here it is with its wave mate, the Iguanodon. I will be reviewing this figure next. And next up, here it is with the massive action Impellosaurus. And lastly, here it is with the king of all Mattel toys, the Hammond Collection T-Rex. So final thoughts on the Megaraptor. I really, really like this figure. It's definitely my favorite of all the Raw Strikers so far. It has bare minimum paint apps on it, but just the color combo is just really striking and appealing. I just love that contrast between the bright red and that really dark blue, and just the design of the figure is really good. It's not accurate, it's just a really fun, creative design. Love the plumage on the tail. It's just a really cool looking figure, and you know, they nailed the one trait that makes Megaraptor is that really long sickle claw on the hands. So yeah, great figure. Hopefully these start hitting shelves soon. Like I said, they are available on Amazon and Big Bad Toy Store right now. The links to those are down below in the description, and I'm sure most of the Wave 2 stuff should be hitting store shelves really soon. I know like Walmart and Target is already starting the clearance stuff to make room for the next round of figures. So that will do it for the review. The only other Jurassic World figure I have left to review is the Iguanodon. I missed the initial pre-order for the Liopleurodon, but I did manage to snag one on Amazon. I think it's going to ship in a week or two, so hopefully that comes in soon. So stay tuned for those reviews, and as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated, and I'll see you guys for the next one.